What if I told you that raising your voice could mean you care, not that you're angry? I once watched my Greek colleague and Swedish coworker have the same argument. The Greek was passionate and loud. The Swede thought they were under attack. The Swede stayed calm and diplomatic. The Greek thought they didn't care. Same disagreement, completely different conflict languages. Okay, controversial question. Is conflict bad?
Yes.
That was fast.
Conflict is terrible, uncomfortable, awkward, damages relationships.
But what if I told you some cultures see conflict as healthy?
Name one.
Israel!
Go on.
In Israeli culture, passionate debate is connection. If they're arguing with you, they care enough to engage.
So yelling at someone means you like them?
Not yelling exactly, but intense discussion. It's about truth-seeking, not personal attack.
That sounds exhausting.
Right? But from their perspective, polite silence means you don't care.
Wait, so British politeness would be seen as apathy?
Potentially. Like, if this mattered, you'd fight for it.
That's the opposite of how I was raised.
British conflict avoidance?
Conflict resolution. We just skip straight to the resolution part by never having the conflict.
By never addressing the issue.
We address it subtly through pointed silences and passive-aggressive tea-making.
I'll put the kettle on as a way to say, I'm upset.
Precisely.
Americans would have no idea what's happening.
How do Americans handle conflict?
Depends. We're kind of in the middle.
How so?
We'll address conflict directly, but we try to keep it professional and solution-oriented.
So not avoidant like Brits, not passionate like Greeks.
Exactly. I hear what you're saying, but have you considered this alternative?
The corporate therapy speak.
It works. You acknowledge the issue without making it personal.
Does it though? Or does it just create HR-approved surface-level resolutions?
Okay, sometimes it's performative.
Thought so. What about Asia? I feel like conflict is handled really differently there.
Massively. Take Thailand, for example. Conflict avoidance is an art form.
Tell me more.
In Thai culture, maintaining harmony is paramount. Direct confrontation is incredibly rude.
So if there's a problem,
You either don't mention it, or you address it so indirectly the other person might not even realize you're upset.
how does anyone resolve anything?
Through go-betweens, subtle hints, giving people space to fix issues without direct confrontation.
Does it work?
For them, yes. Everyone saves face, relationships stay intact.
But for outsiders,
It's confusing. You think everything's fine, then find out later someone was deeply offended.
that sounds stressful for everyone.
Different stressor. Israelis get stressed by surface-level politeness. Thais get stressed by direct confrontation.
Everyone's stressed, just in different ways.
Welcome to cross-cultural communication.
Let me tell you about the time I had a conflict with a Nigerian colleague.
Oh, this should be good.
We were working on a project timeline. I suggested we move the deadline earlier for efficiency.
Reasonable.
He disagreed, but instead of just saying, no, that won't work, he told this elaborate story about his uncle's business and timing and community obligations.
Very indirect.
I couldn't tell if he was saying no or just sharing a random story.
Classic high-context communication.
What does that mean?
In high-context cultures like Nigeria, Kenya, many African cultures, messages are embedded in context, stories, relationships.
So the story was the answer.
Right! He was giving you the cultural and relational context for why the timeline wouldn't work.
And I just wanted a yes or no.
Very American.
Efficiency isn't a crime.
Neither is storytelling.
How did you learn all this?
Trial and error. I had a Kenyan friend who would start every difficult conversation with, "You know, my grandmother used to say."
And you'd be like, just tell me what you think.
Right, but that's not how it works. The story is what they think.
So you have to be patient and listen.
And understand that conflict resolution includes understanding the whole picture, not just the immediate problem.
That's actually beautiful.
It is, but it requires time and emotional investment.
Which low context cultures don't always have.
Bingo! What about Latin America? I feel like they're passionate, but not confrontational.
That's a good observation. Take Brazil, for example.
How do Brazilians handle conflict?
They value harmony in relationships like Thailand, but they're much more expressive about emotions.
So they feel strongly, but don't want to fight.
Right. They might be really upset, but express it through hurt feelings rather than direct confrontation.
What does that look like?
I'm just a little disappointed, said with emotional weight that communicates, I'm deeply hurt and our relationship might be damaged.
Passive-aggressive, but make it heartfelt.
That's one way to put it.
How do they resolve it?
Through relationship repair, apologies, reassurances, rebuilding trust.
So it's less about the specific issue and more about the relationship?
Exactly. Fix the relationship and the issue becomes secondary.
Americans would want to fix the issue first.
Different priorities. One is task-focused, one is relationship-focused. Which is better?
Depends on context. In ongoing relationships, the Brazilian approach builds trust. In one-time transactions, the American approach is efficient.
So there is no better, just different tools for different situations.
Exactly. Let's talk about Germany. I've heard they're very direct about conflict.
Oh yes, Germans do not mess around.
How so?
If there's a problem, they address it directly, clearly, and immediately.
That sounds efficient.
It is. No games, no hints, just this is the issue, here's the solution.
But doesn't that feel harsh?
To indirect cultures, absolutely. But to Germans, it's respect.
How is calling out a problem respectful?
Because they're treating you like a competent adult who can handle direct feedback.
So cushioning criticism would be patronizing?
Right, like you're too fragile for the truth.
I never thought of it that way.
Germans separate the person from the problem. Criticizing your idea doesn't mean they don't like you.
Whereas Americans take it personally.
Everything is personal in American work culture. This idea needs work becomes, I'm not good enough.
Well, yeah, it's our idea. We made it.
British people do the same thing, to be fair.
Really?
Oh yes, criticize our work and we take it as a personal attack. We just don't say anything. We just passive-aggressively resent you forever.
At least Americans address it.
Fair point. What about workplace conflict specifically? How does that vary?
Great question. I think hierarchies play a huge role.
How so?
In hierarchical cultures like Japan or South Korea, you don't directly contradict your boss.
Never.
Very rarely. And if you do, it's incredibly indirect and apologetic.
To preserve hierarchy and respect?
Right. Challenging authority directly damages both your relationship and the social order.
What if your boss is wrong?
Then you suffer in silence, or find a very indirect way to suggest an alternative.
That sounds terrible.
From an individualist perspective, yes. But from a collectivist perspective, maintaining group harmony is more important than being right.
I guess I can see that for stable long-term teams.
Exactly! If you're going to work together for years, preserving relationships matters more than winning individual arguments.
Whereas American culture is more like, best idea wins.
Right! American workplaces pride themselves on being meritocratic. Anyone can speak up, disagree with the boss, challenge ideas. Democracy in action!
In theory.
What do you mean, in theory?
Oh, come on. American workplaces have hierarchies too. Try telling your CEO their idea is rubbish.
Okay, there's a difference between your immediate boss and the C-suite.
So it's not actually a meritocracy.
Fine, it's a conditional meritocracy.
That's called a hierarchy.
Shut up.
See? Conflict avoidance.
You're impossible. What about conflict in Scandinavian countries? I've heard they have a unique approach.
Oh yeah, Swedish consensus culture. The Swedes don't really do conflict. They do marathon discussions until everyone agrees.
How long does that take?
Hours, sometimes days. They'll sit in meetings discussing every angle until consensus emerges.
That sounds exhausting.
It is, but the result is that everyone's bought in. Every voice was heard.
So no one feels steamrolled?
Right. American majority rules or boss decides would feel violent to Swedish culture.
What if someone strongly disagrees?
They keep discussing, finding middle ground, exploring alternatives until everyone can live with the decision.
So compromise is mandatory.
Essentially, no one gets exactly what they want, but everyone gets something.
Americans would lose their minds. Just decide already.
Right? Efficiency versus inclusivity.
Is there a culture that actually enjoys conflict?
Greece!
Really?
Greeks see passionate debate as entertainment and connection.
How so?
Arguing about politics, philosophy, daily life, it's not fighting, it's engagement.
Understanding like Israeli culture.
Similar, but with more theatrical flair.
So it's a performance.
In a way, voices get loud, hands wave, but it's not personal. It's Greek communication.
How do you know when they're actually angry versus just Greek arguing?
That's the trick. You have to understand the context.
So stressful for outsiders.
Absolutely. I watched a British exchange student nearly have a breakdown watching Greek family dinner debates.
They thought everyone was fighting.
Right, when really it was just passionate Sunday lunch conversation.
How did the family react to the students' distress?
They were confused. Why are you upset? We're just talking.
Cultural disconnect at its finest. You know what's interesting? Almost every conflict culture issue comes down to interpretation.
Right, the same behavior means different things.
Raised voices in Greece equals engagement. Raised voices in Thailand equals disaster.
Silence in Britain equals respect. Silence in Israel equals you don't care. Same action, opposite meaning.
So how do you navigate it?
I think you have to ask questions instead of assuming.
Like what?
How do you prefer to handle disagreements? Or is this a good time to discuss a concern? Give people control over the conflict process.
Exactly. And pay attention to their response. If they seem uncomfortable with directness, adjust. If they seem frustrated with indirectness, be clearer.
Meet people where they are.
Instead of forcing them to meet you.
I like that approach. What if you're in a multicultural workplace? How do you handle conflict then?
That's tough. You can't accommodate everyone's style simultaneously.
Right. Greek passion meets Thai harmony meets German directness.
Recipe for disaster.
Maybe that's when you establish team norms?
How so?
Like, on this team, we address conflicts directly, but respectfully. Or, we value passionate debate, but not personal attacks.
Create a hybrid culture.
Right. Not perfect for anyone, but workable for everyone.
So you sacrifice some cultural authenticity for functionality?
Essentially, it's compromise.
But isn't that what all cross-cultural interaction requires?
Yes. Meeting in the middle, learning each other's languages, conflict and otherwise.
Do you think it's getting easier? With globalization and everything?
Maybe. People are more aware of cultural differences now, and we have resources, training, conversations like this.
But awareness doesn't always translate to understanding.
What do you mean?
You can know that Greeks argue passionately, but that doesn't mean you'll be comfortable when it's happening to you.
Head knowledge versus emotional reality.
Right. Your brain knows it's cultural, but your body still goes into fight or flight.
So what's the solution?
Practice, exposure, genuine curiosity about other approaches.
And forgiveness when we mess up.
Yes, none of us gets it right all the time. Cultural competence is a journey, not a destination.
Very American motivational poster of you.
But it's true.
Fair enough.
Thanks for joining us on The Etiquette Enigma. Drop a comment telling us what topics you'd like us to discuss, and we'll do our best to cover them. And remember, conflict isn't bad. It's just cultural.
What feels like fighting in one culture is engagement in another.
So next time someone disagrees with you, ask yourself, is this actually conflict or just a different communication style? And if you're Greek, maybe dial it back 10% when talking to British people.
And if you're British, maybe dial it up 10% when talking to Greeks. Meet in the middle at normal human communication.
What a concept!
See you next episode, where we'll probably start another cultural argument.
As is tradition.